The original 1995 Mortal Kombat film is a classic 90s movie at a time where studios didn't really know how to handle these video game adaptations. A fighting tournament was something that made an easier transition to the silver screen rather than, say, a movie about two plumbers who jump on turtles. It wasn't groundbreaking filmmaking or anything, but it was fun and did exactly what these types of films should aim to do: give ample amounts of fan service. Now we've got a new Mortal Kombat movie for a new era that just released a few days ago, and so of course the question is, does it live up to the original? Is this a Mortal Kombat 9 that revitalized the franchise? Or is it like Armageddon or one of the other shitty ones? And from what I've seen, people seem to be pretty divided on this, so let's talk about it. Let's start with what, to me, is the most important part of a Mortal Kombat movie. If you're going to get one thing right in a Mortal Kombat feature film, it's the fight scenes. That's what these games, this franchise is all about. And seriously, I don't think they've ever been done better in live action. Again, I love my 95 movie, but the fights in this are more visceral, better choreographed, and the big factor that makes them the definitive live-action Mortal Kombat fights, in my opinion, the gore. Something that obviously was missing in the original, which was rated PG-13. In this rated R film, you see people get all kinds of sliced and diced, and it's beautiful. Just like in a Mortal Kombat fight, people are getting, stuck like pin cushions with knives and shrug it off like, yeah, that just did like 10% damage, and keep fighting. You get to see many of the classic moves, powers, even fatalities. That Kung Lao fatality, boys, I'm not going to spoil it here, but seeing that alone is worth the price of admission, in my opinion. And the makers of the film clearly knew that's the stuff people came here for. They knew people, when they clicked that play button, they were choosing violence, as not only is the fighting great, there's tons of it throughout the film from start to finish. I honestly don't know if it goes like 2 or 3 scenes in a row without some sort of combat taking place. The casting, I thought, was solid overall. All the actors did a fine job, I think, portraying their characters. Hiroyuki Sanada was a fantastic choice, I thought, as Scorpion. He's probably most famous as the guy who beats the shit out of Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai, and I just thought he was a great fit for this, rage-fueled ninja demon. This Sissy Stringer who played Melina, holy shit, can she fill out a pair of pants? I may or may not have paused the film a couple times to take a closer look. Respectfully, of course, okay, I'm not a creep. I was just, seeing if there was any extra plot going on back there. But yeah, she was badass too. Definitely nailed that combo of sexy psycho vibe that Melina is famous for. But Kano, played by Josh Lawson, was the show stealer for me in terms of a performance. Even though he doesn't scream Kano by looking at him, he just had so many lines that cracked me up throughout the entire film, cutting promos on pretty much every character at some point. You get the feeling that he ad-libbed a lot of his stuff, like some of these lines just had to be off the cuff.
Cute. Real cute. Let's see you try down again. That the only move you know, mate? Ah! No, fuck. Yeah, put a fucking shirt on, Magic Mike.
And the only real complaint I had with some of the actual characters were the designs, particularly on ones like Sub-Zero and Melina. Seemed like they wanted them to look more practical and tactical. I would have liked to see more of their iconic colors on them, like Sub-Zero just has a slight blue tint on some of his gear. I would have liked to see him more solid blue, similar with Melina and Pink. Like, just by looking at them, I don't think they're instantly recognizable as the characters. I guess Melina, with the mouth, it's hard to think that she'd be anybody else, but like Sub-Zero just looks like a ninja guy rather than Sub-Zero. But on the other side, some of the looks they went with I thought were great, like Cabal I thought looked fantastic. So there were just some hit or misses I felt in the costume designs of these characters. But my main complaints in this film reside in the story. We are going to get into some spoilers here. While we have the typical Mortal Kombat tournament setup, the whole this is going to be the last tournament, if Earthrealm loses, it's over, you know the drill. Of course we have that as a backdrop, but we also have the Sub-Zero and Scorpion rivalry. The movie opens with Sub-Zero literally icing Scorpion's family and sending Scorpion to hell, but one of his children survives the attack, so his bloodline carries on, which gives us our new character and main protagonist of this film, Cole Young, played by Louis Tan. Nothing at all against the actor, I think he probably did the best he could with what he was given, but my god, did this character suck. And I mean seriously, he's freaking Scorpion's descendant, right? Part of this legendary Mortal Kombat bloodline, that's why he's chosen to fight in the tournament, and he's just getting his ass beat throughout the entire film. Even the opening scenes, when we first meet him, he's cage fighting random dudes like in a rundown gymnasium somewhere, and he's losing. He's getting tapped out. This bum is about to go fight supernatural ninjas who shoot ice beams out of their hands, and he can't beat random dudes who probably take jujitsu lessons at the YMCA? Like, come on. At one point when the Earthrealm people are all training in that, Raiden tells him he's not cut out for this, tells him to just go home and be a family man. You know, it's that moment where our determined hero is supposed to be like, no, I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna stay and fight, right? But no, that's not what happens. He's like, you know what, you're right, I do suck, and just leaves. This is the main protagonist of the movie. He straight up just dips out and walks through the portal to go back home, and I literally shouted out loud like, what? I couldn't believe what was happening. Just such a pussy. And yeah, every single fight he's in, he can't win without getting help. He fights Melina, needs help from Sonya Blade. After taking his ball and going home, he fights Goro in his backyard. He's getting his ass beat, no surprise. And his freaking wife, who is not a fighter or anything, needs to save him. She comes out and just starts chopping Goro with an axe. Again, a significant portion of the plot is the Earthrealm characters training and discovering their powers, you know, like how Liu Kang shoots out fireballs and that. And while they're training to try and discover their powers, Kano even makes a joke about how Cole's always getting his ass beat and maybe that's his power.
Oh, that was great. Really good stuff. You know, maybe your Arcana's getting your ass kicked.
And you know what? He's right. The guy's actual power ends up being this armor that surrounds his body and absorbs damage he takes from getting stomped on so that he can use it to hit back at his opponents. This character was just a total waste in my opinion. To think that not only is so much screen time dedicated to him, but also Johnny Cage essentially got cut from the movie so we could have Cole Young. If you're not aware, that was a bit of controversy leading up to the release. Johnny Cage is not in this film. And it makes sense because we definitely didn't have room for him. Even the characters that do make it into the film, you end up sacrificing more development and screen time for them, for the actual Mortal Kombat characters that people care about, to focus on this chump. Jax, for instance, at the beginning it seems like he's going to be more of a central character, but quickly has his arms shattered into a million pieces by Sub-Zero, and goes into this little side plot where he has to, like, level up his robot arms. They start as these little weak baby arms, and he's got to bulk them up. You know, that's how robotics work. But it just seems like they didn't really know what to do with them, or didn't have the time. Shang Tsung and Raiden only have time to pop up randomly, say like 2 words, then dip. I mean, you compare their performances, their characters in this film, to the Lambert and Tagawa performances from the original Mortal Kombat movie that were just legendary, in my opinion. Those guys got ample screen time. They knew they were not only in a dumb kung fu movie, but a dumb kung fu movie based on a video game, and just hammed it up and clearly had fun with it. And that's a big part of what made the original so enjoyable. And once more, you're rushing through things with the characters people actually care about to focus on this one that nobody's going to care about. With all the different reviews I've seen, like I said, it's been kind of mixed from what I've seen, positive and negatives. I have not seen anyone be like, man, Cole Young really stole the show. I thought he was awesome. Regardless of what people are saying about the film itself, it seems to be pretty unanimous that Cole Young sucks. And not only are we short on time for the characters, you know what else we don't have time for? The actual Mortal Kombat tournament. It never even happens. Everything just kind of devolves into a brawl at the end where everybody's fighting each other at the same time. Feels like, again, they just had to rush things through and get to the end because they focus so much on this useless character. And this whole Scorpion's revenge plot, Scorpion getting, vengeance for his family, could have been done not only without Cole, but would have been a million times better. Like, you could just have the same opening with Sub-Zero taking out Scorpion's family, and then like later in the movie, Scorpion rises from hell and returns to fight Sub-Zero and avenge them. And then all this interim time could have been focused on the other Mortal Kombat characters, the people fans actually came to this movie to see. When you have this franchise that has dozens of iconic characters that fans love, it seems insane to me to not only introduce, but to focus on an entirely new character in the feature film, especially one as lame as Cole. So overall, I did enjoy the movie. I know I had a lot of negatives to say there at the end, but I do think this is the definitive Mortal Kombat live action experience in terms of the fighting. If you were just looking at the fight sequences, I don't think it gets much better than this. Just brutal fun, which is what I'm most concerned with in a Mortal Kombat movie. If you're a fan of the series, I don't know how you could watch this and not be entertained by those fight scenes, but I think the choice to have this new character as the main protagonist and the direction they went with him was incredibly stupid, a massive misfire that brings down the film significantly, keeps it from being, a great movie. I think if you would have made that change, pulled this guy out, put more time into the characters, developing them, just giving them screen time and stuff like that, this could have been a great video game movie. I don't think it's as good overall as the original, but I do think it does many things right, and with some significant tweaks, could be pointed in the right direction if they decide to make a sequel. It's probably no surprise with the way movies are these days that it ends with the possibility for more films, and I'd definitely check that out if it happens, and now we could either get rid of this Cole guy or at least not make him the primary focus of a sequel or any other films going forward. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie in the comments. Have you seen the film? Did you enjoy it? And do you think Mortal Kombat fans will enjoy it? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.